Hi, my name's Dave Brons. I write instrumental guitar music with a Celtic symphonic twist. For my new album, I decided rather than spend £3,000 on a hot-rodded Marshall Plexi, I'd make my own. These videos are a diary of that process. So far we've built the board. So the board is here, all nicely built up. And now we need to drill the chassis holes to take the valve sockets. So you have two different sizes of valve sockets. You've got the large power valve sockets here, and we have the smaller preamp valves and phase inverter valve here. So we need to drill some holes. So all I've done is I've prepared the chassis. I've drawn a line that's parallel with this back edge of the chassis. I've worked out where the valves need to go in terms of with regards to where the board is. So I've put the valves near so I can have short wire runs from whichever capacitor is connected to the valves, and then I've marked out where they need to go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drill a small pilot hole in the chassis, and I'm using a drill press here. This is quite cheap. It's just you can get it for your drill. You need a drill that will stay on, and then after we've done that, the other tool you'll be using is this. This is called a stepper bit. And basically it goes up in size increments from 4mm to 32mm, and the sizes are just on the side of the drill bit here, and we'll use that to drill the holes. So I'm going to put on my safety glasses first. I'm going to put on my ear defenders as well. And also the other top tip is when you use a drill, get one with a variable speed, and for drilling metal you're looking to have it on as slow speed as possible. When you're drilling wood you want a fast speed, with metal it's a slow speed. Okay, here we go. So as you can see, first of all I'm drilling the pilot holes just to help me get the holes nice and accurate, and then I'm going in with the stepper drill bit just to get it to the right width for the valve socket. And this is an 8-pin socket for the power valves, the larger valves, and you can see it's got like a slight notch in on this side here. I don't know if you see it. I'll turn the socket around on this side where I think you can see it a bit better. So there's like a notch in the top. That helps you know where to count from. So counting from there, you'd have the pins 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you count them clockwise. It's pretty important to know that for when you come to wire it in. And for me, the notch is going to face the back of the chassis. Then you have the 9-pin preamp valves. So as now you see, it has a little gap there. So if you turn it over, you count from the gap, count clockwise like this, 1, 2, 3, and you have pin 9 here at the other side of the gap. And for this, the way I like to have them is with the pin 9 facing the front of the chassis towards the board and the controls. So it's going to be facing that way and going towards that side of the chassis. Right, okay, so that's the 8-pin sockets, the 9-pin sockets. So I've decided to tape them down just so that I can just get the holes all nicely lined up. So I'm just going to pop that in there with the retainer clip, and I'm just going to be drilling 2 holes. Okay, so there you go. The chassis is pretty much ready for the valve sockets. I just need to do the holes on the front end for the volume controls and so on, and the holes on the back side of the chassis for the speaker sockets and all that stuff. Here I have some pieces of paper with the exact location for all the holes and the writing and so on. And I'm building this amp in conjunction with Damplifier, and one great thing that Dan's done for me is design these front panels and lay them out exactly. In the past I usually just use a Sharpie marker and write them on and then drill and kind of more or less guess where they go. But because I'm having the panels professionally made in Scotland by a great company called Modulus Amplification, I need to make sure that when I drill the holes this afternoon, that when the panels come back from being manufactured, that they line up exactly. So that's why it's great to have these proper files that have been made by Dan and guys, so that when I drill them it all lines up. Okay, on to the final bit of drilling. For the controls I decided to use a pillar drill that my friend has, just to make sure that the holes for the small components were super accurate. But you don't really need to do it this way. Okay, so we need to get the chassis ready for the transformers now. These rubber inserts are called grommets. They're to stop any sharp edges cutting into the wires. And that's really important because these are going to be really high voltage wires, and you definitely don't want them shorting out on the chassis because that could kill you. So that's all the drilling done on the amp. I particularly hate doing metal work. I enjoy the wiring and the electronics, but the metal work I don't really enjoy that much, so I'm glad that's out of the way. In the next video we're going to get on to wiring up the valve sockets, which is, you know, really cool and interesting part of the build. So as always guys, please subscribe to the channel. I hope you're enjoying these videos and find them informative. I'd really be grateful if you headed over to davebrons.com and listened to my music, because, you know, at the end of the day, I love building amps, but making music is really the thing that I do to earn a living. So please check that out, that'd be great. Thanks guys, see you in the next one.